politicians here in Arizona, government officials, CEOs just like Denise. You don't know this because I work behind the scenes. Today we've heard mostly about what you should or shouldn't do as a realtor. I'm going to give you 5 tips about reputation management you can take home. After the same to Denise, and I had a great conversation with her back there. I have no opinion about Denise other than I sit in CEOs' offices on a regular basis around the country and provide an expertise and opinion how to deal with this. Number 1, go buy your name. If you haven't bought your name, .com, .net, .org, .anything else, someone else will. And when they do, they will own your name. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Number 2, set up your social media profiles. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. There's probably 200 of them. They're so powerful, the search engines. That's what, if you do that, have activity, you're going to be able to manage your name.
So Justin, you're saying, just for example, some off-the-wall social network, there's a new one that pops up every day. I should go grab Jay Thompson on that network, even if I don't intend to use it, just so somebody else can't hijack it.
I like Quora. Quora is one of the most recent ones that's come up, and it's like, what is this, right?
But you should only buy your own name or stuff that you own, because you can buy somebody else's. That's an infraction of the code. There actually saw people online, and so somebody purchased the real estate zebra report done.
I don't know anything about that because I'm not a realtor. I'm not part of the RE.net. I'm actually the janitor. I just sweep these messes up.
Can you spell Quora?
What's the name of it?
What was the name of it?
What's the value between purchasing your name versus purchasing the region's name where you focus your
If you're concerned about a keyword, for example, first name, last name, make sure you buy it. Okay?
Could you spell that software? Quora? How do you spell it?
It's a new social network.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Q-U.
Thank you.
O-R-A. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can look me up on there. I probably will. How many did I get to? 2?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
3 to go.
3. Okay. 3. Meet a good backlinker. Okay. A backlinker is nothing more than someone that can drive backlinks to anything. And this is how the internet works. I'm just telling you that a good backlink from a more powerful site doing something else will get you to the right spot.
He knows about that because I think you had 14 backlinks to derogatory blog posts about the visa sites.
I have the best.
It's about reputation destroyal.
Everybody's got
And number
opinions,
4,
everybody's entitled to
continue.
opinions.
What was number 4?
Number
Let's get back to this.
So,
Good points too.
here we go. So I am the best backlinker in the world. There's no one better than me. You're not going to find it in India. You're not going to find it anywhere else. And a lot of that is a reason why I end up sitting in CEO's offices. It's about managing your message. Okay. What was that? 4?
That was 3.
3? No, 4. Okay, 4. And this is very important. It's kind of been discussed here. They're actually right about this. It doesn't go away. So if you do something, it's going to stay there for a long, long time. And even if you try to take it down and all this other stuff, it doesn't go away. Okay. Every time I fix something, I start with what started and what got fixed. And it doesn't go away. So we've heard about ethics here, and realtors have some code of ethics, and I vaguely am aware of it, kind of. But yeah, okay. So, all right, fine.
No 5?
Number 5, there are no morals, right or wrong, on the internet when your reputation is being destroyed, or not. It's not about, it's about what's happening or happened. It's not about what should be. So we can talk at length about what should or should not be. But the fact is, if somebody disagrees with you, and they happen to have a good backlinker and have done all the other things, and they want their message heard on the web, your only remedy is a legal remedy. And that's probably, in my, this is opinion, one of the worst possible remedies you can probably get in that. So just know that you're not fighting what should be. And Denise is going to walk around and talk about what should be, I think, or that's what I heard a lot today. And that's fine, but it doesn't change what a group of people who may disagree with her are saying.
I just want to add one thing. There are some things you can do. For example, in our case, there were so many blogs. And one of the things that we've learned is that, you know, Active Rain and Facebook and YouTube, there are ways that you can work with them to get things removed. We have had things removed, but we've had to prove some things. You know, you have to prove that, you know, clearly this was an attack on your reputation. It wasn't that somebody reviewed you. Because if you go to someone's restaurant and you eat a meal, you have a right to say, I ate there and the food was not good. Or if you have been to someone's hotel and had a very bad stay, you have a right to say, you know, I didn't enjoy it. But, you know, YouTube and Facebook and Active Brain do not take kindly just to attacks. But will I tell you it's a lot of work? Oh yeah, it's a lot of work to get that cleaned up, of course, yes.
Now, most common in reputation management, so you'll know, is not a mob attacking you. It's a bad news story about you getting a DUI. It's you did something in the past that hit the front page, and when your clients want to see what they want to see about, you want to push this off. So you're dealing a lot with media outlets. And she's right, yes.
Here's a question to both of you. How much of this was all about page ranking?
Okay, I'll just tell you from my, the question was, how much of this was about page ranking? So I gotta tell you, I was stunned when first of all, when Inman wrote the article, and all of a sudden everything was out there. It was not about page ranking for me, because we didn't do anything. We did have many comments that people were talking about, we're gonna, you know, do damage to the page ranking. That was definitely something. Other people were saying, well, hey, you know, this is good for us because this is going to help us.
Exactly.
But, okay, so whatever their motives are, or whoever did it, doesn't matter. Because that, for me, now I don't care about that. That damage is done. Now it's about, can we just have a better conversation, and can my bad situation, can this terrible situation, can this embarrassing situation for the industry, and some people don't share that opinion. They don't think this is embarrassing. They actually think their conduct is okay. You know, because I've had people who said that, you know, I said those things, Denise, but I think it's okay to do that. What we have to do now is, it seems to me like every industry, there needs to be a definition of what's proper online conduct. But that definitely was happening.
Can I interject?
Yes.
I'm somebody, again, kind of impartial. I don't know Denise, I don't know Daniel.
Yes.
I knew who Daniel was.
Sure.
No, I know people in the RE.
You might want to talk up because they can't hear you. Yes.
I know people in the, you know, quote unquote RE.net. I'm just not part of it. You know, I know some of them. I choose to focus on what I do here.
Sure.
I think we're jumping into the problem after the problem originated. I think we probably need to step back and go, okay, before you do things like potentially initiate lawsuits, investigate who you're potentially going after. No, I'm not finding fault. I'm just talking about a takeaway for a lot of the agents.
No, but I need to address this. This is,
Let him talk.
There's two sides to this.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not.
Like there was conversation.
I don't know you don't know. I don't care about the outcome of that. I'm just saying from our takeaways here, potentially know who you're engaging with, know some of the potential fallout before you know. I think it's hard to kind of make the reaction the sole focus here when there's an action that's spurred it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make light of, you know, the story you related earlier. I don't think it's particularly apt. I do think that, you know, we need to be cognizant online when we're securing domains. What's our competition? Are they in our market? Are they not? Because apparently, even if you can be on opposite sides of the country, somebody might want to protect stake in whatever your brand is. So I think that it's more than just how do you manage the crisis once it starts, how do you avert it?
yeah. And the one thing I wanted to address, I think those are excellent comments. The one thing I think it's really important is we have to be very careful as a group when we say, well, we got to be, you know, because some people say, well, why didn't you do more research, and didn't you think that you would get this online attack because you filed a lawsuit? Well, if that was the case, then what that means today, our world has changed, that now nobody can ever file a lawsuit, whether they have a valid point or not, because that's not the issue, because if you do and somebody's got a stronger network of friends, you're going to be in trouble. So I think that's a great point. We have to think about things before, but honestly, as a company, we didn't think that this was going to happen. I mean, we had no idea.
I think from an individual blogger standpoint, the thing that probably, again, I didn't react to all this.
Yes.
I kind of watched, but I think the thing that I realized was, wow, I better go out there and trademark this stuff before somebody else comes
Yes.
along, registers a URL after mine,
Yeah.
and then decides that
Yes.
they're gonna sue me for that,
Right.
whether I was there first or not.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that was the takeaway, and that's why there was so much furor, was just that, you know, people are a little bit concerned about somebody else coming after their livelihood yeah, the blowback might have been a little extreme in some cases. It started out fine. I don't fault Jay or people for writing posts. You know, a lot of the threads devolved, but, you know, I thought the posts were fair. But frankly, I think there's a lot of concern and attention given to this lawsuit because people are concerned about this could happen to me, I could be Dan to you. And frankly,
yeah.
this poor guy is gonna, you know, have to spend a ton of money defending himself when he's been the real estate zebra to I don't know how many people for how long. And it's just if somebody like that can get, put in the crosshairs, we all
But
can.
also, what was never looked into, the one thing that people aren't looking at, and that's where I've said to people, you need to do your homework. Everybody needs to do their homework beforehand, you know, and the
No
thing
copyright, no trademark.
yeah, that's actually, this is the one thing that nobody bothered to call our office. And in fact, my attorneys did quite a good interview with Matt at Inman, and the whole thing is that nobody bothered to do that homework. So it's really, you know, those are great points, but it's not fair to everybody in this room to think that, you know, we can't protect our brand, because to me now, we've gone beyond that, and now we are at a whole new level. The level is we have to have proper content.
There's
Yes.
three takeaways
What's
from
that?
this.
Sorry?
There's three takeaways that I see on
Yes.
this, and I was a little bit involved on this from the Twitter side. I'm Eric, it's Eric, and Francis and I have talked a couple of times on Twitter as well as others. But the first one is that, first off, the situation is an RE branding company is suing a realtor, opposite sides of the country. It sounds kind of weird. You know, that's a situation, but I think something, press release or something like that on your website saying, hey, you know, yes, we are doing something like this. The first takeaway is if we're getting involved in something negative, like a lawsuit or something else, at least put down, hey, you know, this is what's going on. If you got questions, contact us. The second item, which I was disappointed with, and I didn't have any heartburn with you doing the lawsuit, okay? So I wasn't one of the people that was making the phone calls or anything like that. But it would have been nice if on Saturday or possibly Sunday, if you had did a response, much shorter than that 24-minute video, by the way, just saying, hey, you know, I understand that there's a controversy out there, and this is my position. You know, whether we did agree or disagree, I think that would have helped you a lot at that point.
We did a response. We did it.
But
It wasn't the video. We actually did send out a response. We did send out a
to
response.
social media?
Yes.
I didn't see
Yeah.
one until the video there.
No, it was
But
there.
really, the big one is, the third takeaway is that there are going to be people out there that are going to respond in a negative way. You know, they're the 3%, the 5%, whatever you want to call it. They don't reflect the majority.
Yes.
But we just need to be aware that Jay had a good post there, and the fact that a few people took it to extreme should not reflect on everyone else.
Right.
This is rolling way off topic. The reputation management, this isn't new. This isn't about Denise. This isn't about Daniel. This isn't about the zebra incident. The very first bar camp in San Francisco in 2008, the first topic I walked in on was Jay and Chris Ferdley, what do you do with a blog board? We had fun names for it then, and a lot of us did it just for the hell of it because it was good for rankings, and there were only a handful of us doing
Isn't it taught
it.
that way though, Jonathan,
Huh?
to try to do something controversial too?
At the time,
I mean, they teach that
yeah,
even
well, I
sometimes.
don't know about now because I don't pay attention to what anyone says anymore. But at the time, yeah, I don't need the advice about blogging. I'm 5 years deep. At the time, yeah, we did that until one day you realize not everyone realizes that we're playing a game to get page rank on there. But the idea of transaction management has nothing to do with this specific case. What Denise should have done, you know, and I don't know her, I've talked to Daniel on the phone a couple times, met in person. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation about the lawsuit. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation why she was doing what she did. None of us have a dog in the fight. One guy had a zebra in the fight, to be perfectly honest about it. Having said all that, was I surprised at all about the reaction? Knowing the RE.net? Hell no, I wasn't surprised. It's what a large group of people do. If you go after one, you go after others. Does it make it right? No. Is it smart? No. Has it been happening for the last 3, 4 years? At least one or two a
We're
year.
out of time. I hate to cut this off, because it's really just now starting to get interesting, but.
Unless you wanna say I'm
But
anything about it.
you know, we've got other rooms where we can continue this conversation, including on the same. It's gotta be.
If you agree with me, we have all the
Hey, I
time.
think Denise gets a hand for showing up. I mean, in that area where I think we're really down.
This is Consumer Dave at Bar Camp for one of the most bizarre conversations I've heard in a while. Thank you.